Hi guys, it's Marenghi here. I hope you're doing well. Today I would like to talk to you about a bad acid trip. So, after a fairly good stint of mindfulness and meditation and being in the present moment, but already feeling a bit of the derealization symptoms coming on, I decided to take a small amount of LSD and head into central London, because I'd taken 3 times as much before in Hyde Park, walking, ending up near Embankment, getting back to Stratford, which was like a wonderful, intense fairy tale. So I thought, a third of the amount, what could go wrong? So, I'm with my partner at the time. She has a similar small amount. It starts kicking in as we're on the tube to Westminster. My trip starts off quite well. I'm in good humour, feeling confident, giggly. She's feeling very suffocated by how crowded it was and the busyness in the street and stuff. And we saw some seagulls on the. This is when I was still feeling okay, and she was feeling bad, but mildly bad, relatively speaking. Saw some seagulls on the wet brown clayey sand near the wet brown clayey Thames over the wall of the Embankment, and we were looking at them. And as you will know if you take an LSD or any psychedelic, really, things are different, and the seagulls seem to have very powerful expressions of human emotion, quite fierce as well. Like, think of a seagull's face, and they look at you like, I can't really do a seagull, but very serious and stern and judgmental, which sort of set me off on a darker feeling tone to the trip. So we start walking around, the weather turns, it gets grey. It rained a little bit, but it was very, very, very busy on the Embankment, and I'm starting to feel very overwhelmed and suffocated and bad, and the alarm bells ring. It's like, I can't get back, I can't get out of this. Yes, again, those who've indulged in psychedelic activities will know how vulnerable you feel, and indeed are. So, starting to feel worse and worse, a sense of impending doom and deep restlessness. Just feeling an unstoppable feeling of intensely not wanting to be in the situation, to the point of like, it's almost like my spirit or soul was trying to tear itself out my body, just to because it was just too much. And you can strange. Before I had a bad trip, I did have a bad mushroom trip many years ago, and then stayed off psychedelics for a long time, but then I had another small one, and it was amazing. Yeah, you can get complacent if you've just had good trip after good trip, and I would caution people out there to always be respectful, very, very respectful of these compounds. And even when you have your setting place person, or you know what I mean, you've got everything sorted like it needs to be, because you're going to be a baby for a while in some ways, so everything needs to be exactly ready for you to just press play and just like that and just drink that, and yeah, on the other side of London, feeling totally helpless, and it's starting to rain and get a bit dark, and you suddenly realise you really need the toilet, and everything's so overstimulating, and you've just got terror and paranoia, and you see policemen, and I remember seeing this policeman walk, and he had such an ugly gait about him, like a that's how I saw it, like a kind of ruthless bully. Many policemen I've met have been perfectly pleasant people, but the way he walked was like a ruthless bully, and just around the park like that, and that set me in a in a bad direction too. But yeah, like a nightmare situation, a bad LSD trip. and you know deep down it's going to be lasting for a while. And when you're on the other side of an extremely busy city, and it's bad and weather and cold, and there's police and evil seagulls, and everything looked, all the architecture in London, all the gargoyles and things carved into, you really notice this in LSD, how serious and stern things are in central London. You know, there's a very little playfulness. All the statues are of generals and war heroes and war memorials, more so than in other European cities. All these stern faces looking down, and you see it so much. It's like a living gargoyle when you're on LSD. It's not like going, rah, but it's so vivid and like an impressionist painting instead of a stone object that looks a bit like a gargoyle. It's like you're seeing like a gargoyle. Yeah, and all this was overwhelming. I probably wouldn't have got through it alone. So big thank you to my partner at the time for that. But the crowning turd in the water pipe, to quote General Melchett from Blackadder, was going to Liverpool Street Station on a Saturday night. I talked about this a little bit before, but so how can I... Bad acid trip is my theme. So Liverpool Street Station on a Saturday night on acid is sort of like a war zone that you don't understand at all. And the toilet is like something from Dante. It's underground first, so you've gone into the main station bit. It's a crazy war zone you don't understand, and you desperately needed the toilet without really quite realising it for quite a while, because the psychedelics can make you less aware of bodily functions and things like that. So you just have to go before you get on this massive tube journey back, and you're already feeling in a nightmare, and then you go down, and the noise, to your acid brain, to your opened up brain, more of you look up MRI scans of what the brain looks like in LSD, you are receiving more, like your brain is 4 or 5 times more activated. So imagine that. It's like insanely loud and unfamiliar screams and yells, and sometimes language, sometimes just pure screams, because everyone's drunk and venting the steam in a serious way on a Saturday night. And the smell, your senses are so much worried. How just on psychedelics? Smell a flower on psychedelics, eat a delicious curry on psychedelics. It will be the best of your life. And the worst will be the worst of your life, as I found out in Liverpool Street Station public toilets. The smell was... I became urine, almost. Like, you feel it permeate into you, and the smell and the taste, and not even natural urine, like beer, fast food, some of it. Maybe I got some nice vegan urine, that would have been good. Anyway, so just went, it was like, and that was like, on the LSD brain, it's like a section of hell. The toilets of hell, demonic, like overwhelmingly intense, foul smelling, with a sinister evil vibe. Yes. So that didn't help, and then we got on the tube, and my partner at the time, wisely, because she'd had quite a good time since the seagulls, she'd been alright, was looking after me sort of, and was playing a game on a phone to keep her attention on the phone. And I, at the time, didn't have a very good phone at all, but I did have some particularly calm Bob Dylan that I listened to. But even that, beautiful as it was, his cover of This Land Is Your Land, the Woody Guthrie song, I could still hear the overwhelmingly loud and alien to the LSD brain threatening noises of the tube and the people, and that you feel, the closeness of a busy train or a busy tube or a busy bus. You're feeling that 10 times more. So you're this worn out, vulnerable shell in the worst possible location for an acid trip. Well, not the worst possible, but you want to be, I would recommend, highly recommend, in the countryside in a quiet place. You're not going to see anyone else. You know, a nice Airbnb in a secluded place when it's going to be a sunny day, and you are very, 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 very likely to have an amazing, life-transforming experience. But never get complacent. Anyway, sat in the tube getting waves of terror. Bob Dylan in the background. This land is your land. This land is my land. Etc. I'm not going to sing it all. That would be ridiculous. So by the time I got off, I was barely there. It was like fast forward tour through hell, a bad LSD trip. And though it was a relief to get home, I was permanently... I've got a bit better recently through exercise and discipline and balance, and but permanently affected by it. Which is why, if you're going to take these drugs, respect and caution, and preparation, and have something on standby that will help. Have a Valium to help you sleep, because if you drop LSD, you're gone for 12 to 15 hours sometimes. Well, if you take more than that, then more than that. You've got to pretend that you're going to be a 2-year-old, and like I said before, have everything prepared and everything ready. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, Mozart, these will see you through. And Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, listen to on a sunny day. You'll be hard pressed to find a more glorious moment in life. And with that positive note, I will sign out, but I will repeat that these drugs are still highly mysterious to us, and they affect our brains in revolutionary ways, and we're dealing with something quite unique, and the utmost respect and caution is needed. And I'm sorry my eyes keep flickering, but I'm new to doing it on my phone, this video thing, and this is where stop is. I don't want to push the phone over. Links to my stuff below. See my other videos on mental health, depersonalization, derealization, depression, motivation, or some filthy jokes. See you later.